Blame Truth here, the Codfather himself, bringing you another video. So apparently YouTube added this cool feature where if you say like the video, the like button will flash or whatever. I'm going to use that to its fullest potential here because I think this video really needs to be seen. The more you like it, the more it gets pushed into the algorithm. My last video covering something like this got a lot of views, and I want people to just be aware of this. Whether it's true or not, just be aware of the possibility if you play Call of Duty or really any Activision title going forward. Because this stuff it gets crazy. And not only that, but there was something, I've been rereading the Charlie Intel Sledgehammer Call of Duty team matchmaking post or whatever, because I'm just kind of patiently waiting on them to talk about matchmaking. I don't know what's taking them so long, but I would guess, I would guess that they're waiting on Bobby Kotick to officially leave before some NDA expires, and that's going to be on the 29th of December. So it's probably going to happen, I'd say early January, but I don't know, man. Regardless, there was something that was said in that particular post that was just kind of hidden in plain sight that I want to get to. But before that, everyone's been telling me to check out this video by Trid TV, I believe his name is. And he does this big 33-minute long deep dive into like 30 plus pages of Activision patents. And I can't really do the video justice. I'm going to post like the summary he put in his video, but I would recommend going and watching the entire thing. There's no point in me doing this because he honestly does a better job than I could. I do not have the patience to read through 30 plus pages of this. I just do not. So go watch his video for a deep dive. I'll link that in the video description. And I'll post the summary here, but it's worth watching the entire video. And again, he does it better than I actually could. And he's a brand new content creator by the looks of things. Only 730 subscribers at the time of me making this video. So go show him some love for this because this is a really big project. And the fact that this took off when he's, you know, not really an active YouTuber or not like a big YouTuber, says all that needs to be said about how many people are interested in what's going on behind the scenes. This is not good stuff, man. Without further ado, here it is.
So to summarize, here's what's wrong with modern gaming. Matchmaking application 120 that has scoring engine 122, which is basically skill-based matchmaking that is so strong that it may even ignore the latency variable when looking for a match. Analytics and feedback engine 124 that uses biometric factors like facial expressions, pulse, body language, and sweat to determine player satisfaction. Pipeline engine 126, which creates soft reservations, which are essentially protected brackets for a specific parameter of players exceeding a certain threshold. Microtransaction engine 128 that tries to pair lower skilled players who don't have the bundles with higher skilled players that do have the bundles, at the same time just rewarding players who buy bundles in general by giving them easier lobbies. On top of all that nonsense, they're adding AI bots, matchmaking engine 122 that may make a determination to utilize one or more NPCs if a requisite number of players has not joined the gameplay session. NPC engine 124 that may generate bots just on the fly when other players leave the lobby. NPC profile engine 126 that adds dummy data to a bot profile so that when you click on the bot profile, you're led to believe that it's a human player. And artificial intelligence engine that tries its best to demonstrate human-like behavior like friendliness.
So as it pertains to Call of Duty, I don't really cover patents and I don't give them too much validity for the simple fact that they're so hard to prove that they're in the game. Like they're so hard to prove that they're actually using them, and a lot of patents simply go unused. However, what he covers in this video is very interesting because there are real-world examples of things happening. In particular, the matchmaking choosing to like put you in a laggier lobby, which should never be the case. We pretty much verified that all the way back in Cold War, that your lobbies will get laggier and the connection will get worse the better you are. That's how intense the skill-based matchmaking is. The microtransaction engine, we don't know that's a thing 100%, but it's been speculated that that's a thing. And would you really put it past Activision? That's another thing. Can you put it past them using that? The AI bot one was very intriguing to me for the simple fact that I didn't know this one existed. I didn't know this particular patent existed, but it backs up a lot of the user experiences that people have had with running into people that they think are bots or whatever. And all this stuff, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to like say it's in the game or not, it's interesting and it needs to be shown to people that it could very well be put into the game. And not just Call of Duty, but really any Activision title. It's very interesting if you watch the entire 33-minute video or whatever, that he even shows an old video Nero had where he's covering some patents, and this is like 6 years ago or whatever. He's covering some patents about like supply drop pay to win tactics back when they were using those and they could legally do that. And it turned out essentially to be true. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so hard to prove that they're in the game unless they mess up, essentially, or you run some extensive tests. And the fact that the matchmaking one is 100% true and the EOMM one I covered is believed to be 100% true with the data we do have, it raises some eyebrows for sure. Now, here's the thing. That aside, we are supposed to get a matchmaking talk from the devs. The Call of Duty devs are finally breaking their silence. And again, we have to speculate that it's after Bobby Kotick leaves at this point that they're able to talk about it. This evil ginger gnome fucker is finally hitting the old dusty trail. And honestly, man, when he passes away, if he has a public grave, I will live stream myself on Twitch taking a shit on the grave, with censor bars, of course, when that happens. But I digress. I think that's actually a big felony. Anyway, maybe I won't, maybe I will. But it's in the cards. It's in the cards if that does happen. Regardless, he's finally leaving. His reign of terror is over. Microsoft's taking over. And people are hopeful for the first time in forever. But I really think you should keep your expectations low. Because I want to just... I don't know, man. One of two things are going to happen, all right? Either they're going to beat around the bush and they're not going to tell us anything, or they're going to rip the lid off of all this nefarious bullshit going on behind the scenes. They may seriously just throw Bobby Kotick under the bus after he leaves, because what's stopping them? That's going to be the more interesting and the much more, I guess, looked forward to response here. But let me just go back. Here because I want to just cover this in depth. There's something that is hidden in plain sight with this message. And while I go over this, keep the patent stuff I just covered in mind, all right? So this is what they said weeks ago. I believe November 30th, roughly, they said this. I'm just going to skip to the second paragraph. It's a large effort that we've worked on for many years, referring to the matchmaking, and our approach combines latency, search time, and skill, along with many other factors, to try to find the best match experience for you. Talking about this topic in detail can be hard. I'm going to stop right there. First of all, I've covered this before. What is hard about this? What is difficult about this? We don't know. It's such a weird thing to say because this is the easiest conversation in the world to have with your player base at the end of the day. It is. Unless you're doing something that's just not normal. But that's not what I really wanted to cover, because when I read this, and this is straight from the horse's mouth, this is not a conspiracy theory. Read this sentence here in regards to the matchmaking and how it works. It combines latency, search time, and skill, along with many other factors. That right there is the key to all this. And I didn't even see it when I first read this. I focused on the talking about this can be hard and all the other stuff they were saying. No. Along with many other factors. Look at the previous three things: latency, search time, and skill. What other fucking factors do you need other than that? Realistically, answer that question. Answer it in the comments if you'd like. What is there to match on except those three things in a normal skill-based matchmaking system? No, seriously, please tell me. If they try to beat around the bush here and they backtrack, remember that phrase. Along with many other factors, not a few other factors, not one other factor, many. That's it. That is all I need to see in regards to this, to tell me that whatever they talk about, I expect to be in the know on these many other factors, because what else could you possibly match people on and it not be shady as shit? Seriously, answer that. I don't know how I didn't really see this. I've literally been going back and rereading this and just trying to see, what are you trying to actually say? It's still really vague. They're being more open about it, but it's still really vague. Look, man, here's the thing. Call of Duty team. I don't know like the devs' actual NDAs here. It's clear that they have one. That's not even speculation. It's very clear that they cannot openly talk about skill-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking, or anything like that. I mean, you could literally just make a COD dev shut up by just saying skill-based matchmaking. They'll just mime up, man. Like, they're done. It's clear that they're under some sort of NDA. Probably signed by Kotick himself. It might expire at the end of the year, or at least when Bobby Kotick leaves on the 29th. I'm not exactly sure here. I do have to speculate there. But I'm going to say this. Call of Duty devs, do the right thing here. Let us know how this stuff works. And I mean, let us know in detail. Every other dev team from any other game I've played has no issues talking in detail about their matchmaking system. What Activision's doing that other game companies simply aren't doing is they are treating this like social media. Like when you get on a social media platform and you find yourself scrolling, the algorithm's just throwing you exactly what you want to see or what you want to watch. And this goes for YouTube as well. I binge watch a lot on YouTube. At the very least, though, this is my job, so I don't feel too bad about it. Or I'm trying to look at educational stuff. Same can go with like Instagram and Twitter. You can find good content and kind of tailor it to your specific needs. But a lot of people will just, I don't know, end up kind of doom scrolling, I call it, or doom watching, binge watching, we'll say. And Activision's treating it like that. They're treating their matchmaking like that. They are using human psychology to get people addicted, not necessarily enjoying the game, but addicted, which is just all kinds of wrong. It's one thing to do it on a free-to-use social media platform with ads and whatnot, but it's another thing to do it on a $70 game and not be open about it. If I am paying you money for a video game and there's something else going on behind the scenes that is manipulative, you need to tell me, or else your game needs to be free to play. Warzone, maybe you can get away with it. Fine. No, if I'm paying $70 for a multiplayer shooter, I want to know every single thing about the game that you can possibly tell me. And I think I've earned that right. I am paying your goddamn salary. Tell me when I'm telling lies there. Seriously. I don't really care about how certain social medias work. In fact, I've deleted most of them because I don't feel like wasting my time on there. But video games are different. Video games are an escape from reality for me. They're not an extension of reality like a lot of social media is. No, I play video games for a different reason. Turning Call of Duty into TikTok 2.0, I am not a fan of. I am not a fan of being manipulated and psychologically profiled and all this stuff. I'm just not. But anyway, back to just matchmaking talks. And this should not be a hard topic, again. I've been playing Dead by Daylight a lot. The devs are super open when talking about the matchmaking. They even said they raised the MMR recently. Like, they made it more strict recently. And, you know what I mean? Like, we just want to know what's going on. It's a pretty simple system in Dead by Daylight. It's not that complicated. It's based on skill, pretty much, and ping, and that's it. It's not super strict on skill. Favors ping, from what I gather and what I've played of the game. Well, over 1,000 hours now. It doesn't really need to be any more complicated than that if you're going to have it in the game. I would argue it needs to be toned down considerably for the simple fact that Call of Duty, at the end of the day, man, it is a shooter. It's almost like a sandbox shooter. You give us all these options, but all these options do no good when the system is this strict. Also, in its current state, it can be manipulated so easy that there's literally no point. And then you have these two extremes. Either you have a matchmaking system that's so disgusting that, you know, when you play it normally, it's so disgusting that it makes the game unplayable. Or you reverse boost and session join, and it makes the game also unplayable because it's so boring. I don't want either of these things. There are these people saying you just want to beat up on noobs. No, I want to play a game with organic matchmaking. I don't want this game to be super serious. If I want to take it super serious, I'll go over to ranked. I play 99% of my Call of Duty matches solo. Nowadays, especially because people don't want to play with me. Like, what I mean by that is I'm above average. In some cases, I'm well above average. If, you know, I spend a lot of time on the game. So I'll play a game like Cold War. and get like top stats. And then I'll play with my friends that have 1 KDs. Oh, they love it when I'm in there for a little bit. But the minute I start popping off and we do too well, the matchmaking is going to destroy them. And I'm not going to have a great time either because I got to do all the heavy lifting. I got to carry people. That's not Call of Duty, straight up. And something needs to change. It remains to be seen when we're going to actually get this information and get this talk. They still remain so vague, even coming out with this. They say in the coming weeks. Well, the weeks have come and gone. It's when did season 1 come out? The 6th? It's now the 23rd? Yeah, a few weeks have passed. Guys, I'm going to end the video here. Go check out Trid TV's video if you want to see the full deep dive. Appreciate him bringing this to light. Because, man, like, my ADHD does not like me reading any sort of long, boring jargon patent. It just does not. So I really appreciate this. And go give him some love, you know, subscribe to his channel, give him some love, subscribe to his channel, give his video some love as well. Like I said, I'll link it below. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Let me know your guys' thoughts and like the video, like I said. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Some parting advice?